Professor, Department of Management Studies, Shrimps Vasant Kunj, extend a warm welcome to all the honored guests and my colleagues on behalf of
दिव्या 2 मिनट
Department of...
होल्ड कर लियो, ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
दिव्या स्टार्ट.
Okay, ma'am. A very good morning to one and all. I, Divya Gupta, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, Shrimps Vasant Kunj, extend a very warm welcome to all the honored guests and my colleagues on behalf of Department of Management Studies, Jagannath International Management School, Vasant Kunj, to the day 4 of the 1 week FDP program on Advanced Time Series and Panel Data Analysis. It is indeed a great pleasure to have with us Dr. C.P. Gupta, Professor, Department of Finance and Business Economics, South Campus, University of Delhi. Sir will be guiding us for the remaining 3 days of the FTP. I will now take the opportunity to introduce to you all the resource person for this session, Professor C.P. Gupta. Dr. C.P. Gupta is presently a professor in Department of Finance and Business Economics, University of Delhi, and was head of the department and and the dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business, University of Delhi. He is MCom, MPhil in Finance, and PhD in Finance from the Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. Before joining Department of Financial Studies, he had worked as professor and area chairperson at Management Development Institute, Gurgaon, for about 10 years. He has also worked as faculty in Sri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi, and School of Management Studies, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. He has teaching and research experience of more than 40 years. His areas of research, teaching, and consultancy include investment decisions, risk analysis, project appraisal, security analysis, fuzzy decision making, and financial modeling. He is a life member of the Operational Research Society of India, Society for Capital Market Research and Development, and the Indian Financial Management Association. He has contributed a number of research articles in various Indian and international journals, and he has few research-based books to his credit. He guided a number of research students as well. He was involved actively in the training programs of NTPC, ONGC, EXL, IBM Daksh, and others. He was a member of expert group appointed by Government of India to review cost accounting record rules and existing cost audit report rules. A member of Cost Accounting Standard Board constituted by ICMI New Delhi. The Department of Biotechnology, Government of India nominated him to the task force on Star College scheme. He is area editor of Journal of Indian Business Research. He has been awarded the Best Reviewer Award for the year 2014 by Emerald. He has been nominated as expert to the Customer Service Committee of Board, Punjab National Bank, New Delhi for 2020-21 and was also nominated as a member of the Valuation Standard Board of ICMAI, New Delhi. He was chairman, Delhi College of Arts and Commerce, Delhi, and was member of the governing body of SRCC. He has taken or is taking courses, sessions as a visiting faculty at the Institute of Valuers, Delhi, ICMA New Delhi, ICAI Noida, Great Lakes Institute of Management, MDI Gurgaon, IIM Raipur, IIM Jammu, and IIM Kashipur. Thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time and enlightening us. We will be getting enlightened through your sessions for these 3 days. Sir is going to make us understand in today's sessions meaning of panel data, pooled method, and endogeneity. I request you, sir, to kindly take over this session.
Divya, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Are you able to see the video?
No, I cannot see the video, sir.
Let me check.
Yes, we can see you, sir, now.
Okay.
But the camera needs to be adjusted a little bit.
That you need not worry.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And let me share the screen.
We can see the screen, sir.
Okay. So friends, good morning to all of you and welcome to the session on panel. Okay, so let's start. Good. So today is your day. This day is yours. All right. Make it a great day. So friends, today is the day for you people, and today is the day when you have to learn, and we have to learn together, and we have to start understanding the complexities which are coming from panel data and what are the challenges which are posed by that complexity and how can we take up those challenges. Okay, so that's something which we are going to discuss today. And don't forget, we are here to learn, nothing except learn. Okay. So friends, let's start our day with a lot of positive energy because you need it drastic, and we need a lot of energy to understand and appreciate the complexities coming from panel data. Okay. So let's have the day full of optimism, full of energy, and day full of learning. And to begin with, first something to think for us. And in fact, all the time we are going to talk about how do we see a difference between a mechanic and engineer? How do we see that difference? And you are free. You can put your views on the chat box, and you can unmute yourself and you can give your thoughts directly to me. How do you see as a learner difference between a mechanic and engineer? Any one of you like to respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, an engineer is the one who creates tools, and a mechanic is the one who uses them.
Okay. Creates tool and the one that uses tool. Okay, what else?
Difference in skill and knowledge.
Okay. And anything else?
Sir, engineer is the one who is looking for continuous improvement, but
Okay.
mechanic is going ahead with what is being there and solving problem.
Okay. Right. So you people have fairly good idea how do we see the difference between a mechanic and engineer. Knows how to repair, knows also why to repair. Basic difference is how and why. And that how and why, make the difference in the level of the knowledge these people are having. Mechanic cannot explain why to repair, but engineer can explain everything and explain why we need repair, where we need repair, and what is the process behind repair. Mechanic has a skill and experience of working, and engineer knows the complete dynamics and constraints of a car if we talk about car. We need both. I'm not saying it's a question of only mechanic or only engineer. Both we need and both have the purpose to serve. But as a researcher, we have to decide what we would like to be. Would you like to be something like engineer, or would you like to something like a mechanic? As a researcher, you have to take a call about it. And I'm sure that all of you will say that as a researcher, we would like to be an engineer and not as a mechanic. And the reason is obvious, because when we study, when we do research, we are also trying to find out why something is happening. We are not learning how to do the things, we are also learning why we are doing a particular thing. We know what is the motivation behind us to do a particular study. So all of us want to be engineer, all of us want to get the understanding of the things and knowledge of the things. So friends, you have to emphasize on understanding. We have to understand what we know and what we do. And please appreciate, there is no substitute of understanding for us as a student. If you understand, you can explain it in simple terms. If you understand, you will be confident. But if you do not understand things, you will be finding a lot of difficulty in explaining your position, explaining your point of view. So we have to understand. That's very, very important for all of us. And yes, I got a message on chat box. Potsang Bam, if I'm pronounce it properly. So yes, you're right. Mechanic would repair using existing technology, where engineers innovate and create technology. Okay, that's great. Okay, so friends, when you try to understand, you might be having a lot of questions in your mind, a lot of queries in your mind. Please don't hesitate in asking questions. Anytime you can throw your question, and I will love to answer those questions. But what is my concern is, you must understand the things which you're talking about. Anything which you don't understand, please become uncomfortable with it. Don't be comfortable with that misunderstanding or ununderstanding. Okay, so throughout these 3 days, I hope you will be trying to understand what we are talking about. And anytime, if you have any query, any question, you can throw your query, and definitely I will do my best to answer those queries. Okay, so let's begin and let's dare to enter the word of the panel data, right? But I mean, you have the data, the panel data, and you don't know what to do about it. So I'm saying we are trapped, and we have to come out from that particular trap with clear understanding. But first, a quote: friends show me what I can do. Foes teach me what I should do, and both are important for us. You need to have friends because they show what you can do, and foes also teach us what we should do. Okay. So what do you think, what is the best friend in econometrics? Any one of you? Which one you will say, yes, I'm happy to see that one in the module, in the regression module.
It's the best estimate.
Sir, OLS estimator. OLS.
The friend.
OLS. Okay.
OLS.
Right. Anybody else? Why do you say OLS should be friend?
Because it provides blue estimates.
Right. So why should we have blue estimates? Simply tell me, why should we have blue estimates?
Because they provide the correct estimates of the population parameter which we do not know about.
Okay. Weber, I will not say that they provide correct estimates, because nobody knows what is correct. But they gives you the best estimates. And when you say best, they are best because they are linear, they are unbiased, and they are efficient. In that sense, we say they are best. And to get the best, we all try to get the best estimates, and therefore we would like to use OLS. So friends, OLS is our friend. And whenever we find that we can use OLS, we are very happy with it because it gives us the best estimates. Okay. Friends, show me what I can do. OLS tell us what we can do in econometric modeling. And OLS also tell us that this is the best way to get the best estimates. Of course, provided your assumptions are true. If your assumptions are not true, then OLS will not give you the right thing. Okay, then who is the foe or the enemy in our econometric modeling, which needs to be disciplined and which needs to be corrected, which needs to be taken care of. If you don't take care of it, it will spoil the whole results. What is that for?
Sir, error term.
Error term, yes. But why do you say error term is important? Why it is a foe for us? Why it is an enemy for us?
Because we have problems in estimating that.
What problem, Deep? What problem you have? Deep, tell me what is the problem you have in it?
Because it is unobserved, so we cannot know the behavior.
Okay,
Because
Neha, so
it
we
is not
cannot-
following in some pattern.
Okay.
Also, sir, if we miss any or omit any variable from our regression, then it will appear in the error term. So it may create problem.
Okay. Yes, some of you are rightly saying the things, and error term is something which is behaving in a very, unknown manner, random manner. We do not know the exact behavior of it. And therefore, to discipline the error term, we have to impose assumptions. Most of the assumptions for OLS, you will find it's on error term. Error term is something which has to be taken care of. So we say that the expected value of the error term is 0. Variance of the error term is constant. The covariance between the error term of the period t and t minus 1, 0, no autocorrelation. Covariance between x and error term is 0. Error term follows normal distribution with 0 mean with constant variance. So almost all assumptions are about error, because error is something, which may behave in a highly unpredictable manner and start spoiling your results. And therefore we say we have to take care of the error because it acts like an enemy. So error term is my foe because it may create problem for our estimates. And if your error term is not behaving as you expect, your estimates may not be blue estimates. And therefore, we have to take care of it. So if you see the assumptions about the OLS which we make, they're all related to error term. And it's important because any, misbehavior on the part of the error term will create problem for us. And therefore, it becomes a culprit. And before it starts spoiling your estimates, you have to take care of it. Okay. So first teachers what I should do. And you might be wondering why this discussion I'm taking. You have the parallel data, right? I love to use OLS. But unfortunately, I cannot use it because my error term is creating problem. And to take care of that error term, we need to come out with something different. And that is what the whole challenges we find in the panel data analysis. The whole fight is how to, manage my error term so that we can get the best estimates. Okay, so now you can understand where is the problem. Problem is in my error. And why we have a problem in it, I think Sampati was saying something related to omitted variable. Yes, that's one of the important cause, and that's what we are going to talk about. So behavior of the error term teaches me what I should do in econometrics. So the lesson is always try to use OLS unless the error term becomes culprit and spoil the things. The whole fight in the panel data analysis is a fight with error term. And that's one of the biggest challenge which we have with us. So friends, some basic things before we go ahead, and first step first, that is the basics. Do you see any relation between blood pressure and age of a person? Yes, of course you will say. And you will say that as age increases, person's blood pressure also increases. So we collect the data and we run the analysis and we get the result. And we get a result which is giving me the desired sign, desired relationship. R squared is also very high. Sampati, I have a question for you. Are we happy with these results? Are we happy with this result? Sampati, are you there?
Yes, sir, we should accept the result because the p-value is closer to 0.
Significant.
We actually reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis.
Okay.
But sir, our R square is not that much high. So maybe we can include more variables.
Sampati, nobody will give you 100% R square. 61% is very high. Why do you say it's low?
Sir, is there any other variables that we can include to improve our R square?
But if other variables are insignificant, why should we add it? 61%
Sir, in that case, we have to
contribution by
check, I think.
61% contribution by one variable. Don't you think it's a great thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Neha Seni, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Tell me, क्या problem is इसमें?
Sir, the thing is that as age increases, the pressure also increases. But as we look about the age factor, basically, if the person is of age 3 or 4, we cannot say the blood pressure is increasing by that much unit. So there must be some other factors also which need to be included in this particular regression. Because yes, for
what is
some
that?
time
What is that?
it might be weight.
Sir, I think we should check the error term.
Error term को दे check कर ही नहीं सकते आप.
Some other variables need to be checked. For
Right.
example, sir, weight.
Weight. We should also think of the weight, right? Sampatya, I'm coming back to you. If you don't include the weight into your model, what problem you will see? You said that it will reside in the error term. So what? Sampati, if the weight is residing in the error term, so what? क्या होगा?
Yes, sir. Can you please repeat the question?
The question is that if you do not take weight into your regression model, right, it's omitted, and you said earlier that it will reside in the error term.
So error term increase हो जाएगी.
तो उससे क्या होगा फिर? हो जाएगा तो तुम्हें क्या लेना देना? मीन तो उसका
The
zero.
error term will be correlated with the blood pressure.
Good morning, Neha. Neha, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
हाँ क्या होगा? बोलो.
Sir, it will be correlated
With what?
with, I think, blood pressure. Error term, it will reside in the error term. If we will take it, then it will not be in the error term. But if we are not taking it, then error term will be correlated with the blood pressure.
Sir, I can speak.
Yes, Prabal.
Sir, first what actually I will see that if age and weight, if they are positively correlated,
right.
Thereafter I will go for whether if it is positive, then there is a relations we can grow with blood pressures.
Okay.
If it is negatively regulated,
right,
means there is some problem related to the age and weight. That factors I will not take it into the considerations.
Okay.
That is my idea. Thank you,
okay.
sir.
Okay. Anyway, we will discuss about it. So the moment you add weight into it, still the p-values are coming to be significant. R square has gone up. So now we have an issue. Should I go for this model? Should I go for this model? And I'm sure obviously you will say that this model is a better model.
Sir, because R square is increased, that's why this is the better model?
No, that's not the reason. Problem is something else. This model is suffering from a problem. Suffering from a problem. And that problem is called omitted variable bias. This estimate which you get is biased estimate. And that bias is coming because weight is an important variable we have not considered into my model, and it will reside in the error term. And age and weight, they are correlated. So age will start correlating with the error term, and that creates a problem.
Sir, how can we identify if there is any omitted variable bias?
Okay. Okay. Sampati, give me a minute. I will come back to your question, right?
Okay, sir.
So we have the error term. Weight is entering into the error term. If we miss it, and age is correlated with the weight, and when weight is residing in error term will also start correlating with age. That means we find that the covariance between x, this is my x, this is my error term, is not equal to 0. one of the assumptions of the OLS is violated, and that creates a problem.
Excuse me, sir. When weight and age is auto-correlate, when weight and age are both correlated, then we should exclude the weight from the model, no?
Why should we exclude?
So because we have studied that if both the independent variables are correlated, then there is a problem of multicollinearity.
Okay.
So we should exclude that one variable, and in order to get the exact R-square value.
Right. Ginny, can you imagine any two variables which have zero correlation?
Sir, there can be the absence of correlation between two things.
Are you sure? Give me any model.
So there is no correlation between the whiteboard and table.
No. Give me a regression model where you have two variables.
So like there is no correlation between the color of a person and the weight of a person.
Ginny, give me regression model. I'm not talking about correlation. Give me any regression model.
Sir, if the data lies in a circle, all the data.
Give me a regression model. Give me a regression.
Degree is also important. Correlation will be there. The level of correlation between two variables is important.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, regression model is not.
Riyansh, please complete your argument.
Sir, in every variable, we will have some correlation.
I understood your argument.
Yes.
Riyansh, I think. Riyansh Bansal. Who's that? Riyansh Bansal. She was saying something.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Pooja.
Yes, sir. When independent variable and error term, they are correlated, it means there is omitted variable bias, right? Omitted variable bias, it leads to endogeneity too.
Right.
There is an endogeneity issue due to omitted variable bias.
Right.
That's why we take into consideration and the variables which are not taken in the regression equation, but they go to error term, right?
Yes, Pooja, absolutely right.
Yes, sir.
But issue is that if age and weight are correlated, is it creating multicollinearity problem?
If age and weight are correlated, sir, no. Age is our independent variable, and weight, if it is an independent variable, then it will create multicollinearity problem. If it is not taken in regression equation, then it will go to error term, and it will not be an independent variable. Yes, sir.
Which problem is more serious, multicollinearity or endogeneity?
Endogeneity.
So
I suppose.
weight में और
Obviously,
weight में और age में correlation भी है, तो क्या problem है हमें?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am interrupting. Is it because when there is high correlation between these two variables, then it may create problem?
Right. Otherwise, it doesn't.
So you
Multicollinearity doesn't say that zero correlation. Multicollinearity says there should not be any perfect
significant correlation.
Perfect linear
correlation. Yes, true, sir.
Okay, sir, got it. If there is a high correlation and that is significant too, then we have to exclude one independent variable. Otherwise,
but you have to check whether it's creating problem or not.
Okay.
And in case of collinearity, our estimates will be unbiased and best.
Sir, can you please explain this endogeneity problem?
अरे अभी दीप जी थोड़ा वेट करो.
अच्छा ठीक.
I'm gradually moving towards that. So if we omit a variable from our model which is of significance, then we have what is called a omitted variable bias. And Sampati, now I take your question. How do we know whether we have omitted variable bias or not? There is no statistical test for that. It is your theory, it is your arguments, It is the literature that will tell you whether you have omitted variables into your model or not, and whether they are creating, omitted variable bias or not. We do not have any statistical test to check it.
Sir, sorry, sir. I just have a very basic question.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
when we read research papers, it is seen that there may be multiple variables, independent variables, but a particular research paper talks about impact of only one, two, or three supposedly variables on the dependent variable, and there would be another research paper that is using some other independent variables, right? So when we do such a thing, then again, I mean, are we not omitting the other variables in that research or in that thing, that analysis that we are doing?
Okay. Neha, have you seen, are they using control variables or not?
No, sir, not always.
Okay. Now, what is the argument they are saying? Why they are taking those variables? Why somebody else is taking, say, somebody is taking size, okay, and somebody is taking profitability.
Yeah. So
So,
for an
so,
example, if
so
I sorry.
Neha, they must be giving you the rationale for it. They will say
Yes.
that profit is important, size is not. They must give you the reason for it. If they
I
don't
have
give you
not
the reason,
necessarily seen, sir. So, for example, if I am reading currently papers on, say, stock returns or something, so some papers focusing only on stock returns basis, say, exchange rates, inflation, some papers taking a money supply. So like that, I have seen papers taking different independent variables, but not necessarily saying why the others have been omitted.
so they should give the reason. Now, if they don't give the reason, that's not a good research paper.
Sir,
Okay.
I have a question related to this.
Yes, Sushma.
Sir, as she was saying, I have also come across the similar thing that sometimes certain variables are taken as independent variables, and sometimes some of the variables are taken as control variables. For example, if I'm going to analyze the relationship or the impact of corporate characteristics like size, leverage, profitability, industry structure, etc., on let's
What?
say sustainability performance of a company. So
Okay.
some of the variables are taken as control variables sometimes they are taken as independent. Some studies have taken all of them, some have taken few. Sir, so how to decide which one to take as control variable and independent variable? Or if we are taking only some of the variables, aren't we omitting some variables?
Okay. Neha Saini, मुझे आंसर दो इसका.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Can I say something? So this is how.
Am I audible, sir?
हाँ Neha.
And sir, it totally depends upon the literature survey. If we have gone through a very good literature survey and what other studies have taken it. So it totally depends upon that, what we should consider, whether we should consider it as an independent variable or the control variable. And most of the time, what I have seen, most of the time, the variables like size or capital expenditure or research and development expenditure, they have been taken as the control variable because they are controlling the relationship between the dependent or the independent variable. Let us say if I want to see the
Yes,
relationship
Neha,
between
Neha.
the
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, sir.
One
Thank
thing,
you.
one thing I should tell you, all control variables are independent variables. Please understand that. No difference between control variables and independent variables. So if you say that performance is equal to alpha plus beta 1 size plus beta 2 profitability plus error term, and you say profit is my control variable, so this is also my independent variable. So every control variable is independent variable. To use the terminology, making difference between control and independence, that's not correct. Please understand that. Every control variable is your independent variable. What you should say is control variable and variable of interest. What is that variable you would like to see and you would like to study? What is your variable of interest? That is something which you have to focus on.
Sir, so it is discretionary for the researcher to decide which one to take as control and which one to take as
researcher के लिए कुछ discretionary नहीं होता. It is
Sir,
not
वही तो
personal
पूछना था.
research. It is not personal research. You have to justify it.
Yeah.
Why you are taking it? You have to build the argument for the same. Somebody is taking size and profit both as variable of interest. Somebody is taking size as variable of interest, profit as the control variable. So
sir, can it be backed by theory or previous literature?
Yes, and your own argument.
Okay.
Everything may not be in literature. If you think something different, something new, okay? So that new thing may not be in the literature, but you are convinced about that new thing. You can build the argument to support that new thing.
So we can take some of the independent variables as control variables.
But why should you take that? Are you aware of it? क्यों लोगे तुम? ऐसे थोड़ी ले लोगे. Discretion नहीं है, arbitrary नहीं है ये. You should have a reason for it. Why you are taking them as a control variable? Why you are taking them as a variable of interest? That depends upon your objective. That depends upon your hypothesis, which you are going to check. Okay, that depends upon your reference. What चीजों पे depend करता है सुषमा?
Sir, can you elaborate more on control variables, sir, please?
What is the area in which you are working? I take example.
Sir, I am working in OB right now, sustainability reporting practices of financial sector companies.
Are you using some regression model?
Yes, sir. I'm going to use multiple regression and most probably panel data regression.
ठीक है, तो उसमें dependent क्या होगा?
Sir, dependent sustainability performance, yeah, sustainability disclosure of a company.
Just a minute. So, sustainability performance, right?
Yes, sir.
Is your dependent variable?
Yes, sir.
Why? Okay. Then, what is your objective? What you want to check?
Sir, I want to analyze the relationship between corporate characteristics of a financial firm and its sustainability disclosure or sustainability performance.
Okay. So, disclosure, board size, number
yes, sir.
of women director,
leverage,
number of women director in the board. These are
yes,
all
sir.
board characteristics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why leverage?
Yes, sir.
Why leverage?
Sir, it is also corporate characteristics, sir. How much debt equity ratio, how much debt it has taken, because
are you taking the corporate characteristic or are you taking the board characteristic?
Sir, all the characteristics relating to a corporate firm, whether it is relating to CG, yeah,
all characteristics,
determinants basically, sir. Determinants.
All determinants.
Not all, not all, sir. But based on the past literature which I have reviewed,
right.
Most of the
you said that okay, leverage, right?
Leverage, profitability, ownership pattern, nationality, age.
तो ये सारे वेरिएबल ऑफ इंटरेस्ट है तुम्हारे?
Yes, sir. 8 to 9 वेरिएबल्स को टेस्ट करना है.
बताओ, हाइपोथेसिस क्या है तुम्हारी?
सर, मुझे इनकी रिलेशनशिप देखनी है, whether they are significantly associated with sustainability performance or not. Is there any significant relationship?
That you want to study, that's your objective.
Yes, sir. Of all the variables on sustainability performance.
Age.
Impact of all the variables on sustainability performance.
Age.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो ऐसे तो तुम्हारी लिस्ट खत्म ही नहीं होगी.
नहीं सर 8 वेरिएबल्स हैं सर, उनमें से टेस्ट करना है कौन से सिग्निफिकेंटली
एक
इम्पैक्ट कर रहे
सेकेंड,
हैं।
आठ कौन से हैं? 8 बता दो मेरे को।
सर यही हो गया, लिवरेज, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, एज, साइज, number of women directors, yeah, and number of independent directors in the board, industry,
ठीक है,
ownership।
ये तो बहुत ज्यादा होगा, 8 से ज्यादा हो गए।
नहीं सर 8 ही हुए हैं।
अच्छा ठीक है, मुझे बताओ कि लिक्विडिटी का इम्पैक्ट होगा सस्टेनेबिलिटी परफॉर्मेंस पे?
लिक्विडिटी सर वेरिएबल अभी तक एक्सप्लोर नहीं किया गया है, इस पे
होगा कि नहीं होगा?
इट कैन बी सर, बिकॉज मोर कैश मीन्स the firm has more funds at its disposal to spend. Yes sir, it can be.
ठीक है, but that is not your variable of interest, but you can take it as a control variable.
Okay sir, okay.
Because you want to filter out the effect of it ना, नहीं तो वो effect घुस जाएगा कहीं ना कहीं।
सर एरर टर्म में आ जाएगा वो तो
कहीं ना कहीं प्रॉब्लम करेगा ना वो। तुम्हें कंट्रोल वेरिएबल को चेक करना पड़ेगा।
Sir, like this, board size can also be the control variable. Board size.
That is researcher. Sushma has to decide.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन यही है कि इनमें से कौन से कंट्रोल वेरिएबल्स लेने चाहिए और किसको इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल लेना चाहिए, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ देम आर एक्चुअली कंट्रोलिंग द डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल।
ये रिसर्च कौन कर रहा है? सुषमा कर रहा है या और कोई कर रहा है?
ओके सर, मैंने इसीलिए पूछा था स्टार्टिंग में कि रिसर्चर हैज टू डिसाइड ना।
और क्या, और रिसर्चर हैज टू डिसाइड विद लॉजिक।
ओके सर,
विद रीजन। ऐसे नहीं, ऐसे कहने से नहीं होगा कि ले लो। क्यों ले लो? यू शुड जस्टिफाई दैट ना।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
ओके, I think did I miss some questions in between? A lot of discussion with Sushma. Sampati, did I miss some questions of yours in between?
No, sir. Only how can we identify omitted variable bias that you already
You cannot
said.
do that. You cannot do that. It's all theoretical. There is no statistical test to check it. Omitted variable क्या है पता ही नहीं तो हम टेस्ट क्या करेंगे?
Yes sir, yes sir.
अगर वेरिएबल पता ही है तो हम ले ही लेंगे मॉडल में, अगर नहीं पता तो how we will check it? We cannot check that.
Sir, so according to the previous equation that you wrote on the slide, if her variable of interest was all the 8 factors, if she would have taken any other factor according to literature and any other variable, extra variable according to the literature that had an influence on sustainable performance, that would have been the control variable.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So let's understand omitted variable. What is the consequence of it? Suppose this is my true model and I estimate this model, which is underfitted model. So my estimate will be this, and this is my correlation. Rather, I should say covariance. So if x1 and x2 are correlated, then we will be in trouble. If they are independent, then you will not have omitted variable bias. Otherwise, you will have omitted variable bias. And that is something which we have to look at.
Sir, may I ask a question?
Hello?
Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
Sir, in the previous example, which you have discussed, blood pressure, age and weight. In that case, in the first model, when we have included only age, then the value of R square was nearly 60%. And you have explained that age is explaining 60% of the blood pressure. And when you have included weight along with the age,
Right.
Then the value of R square is nearly 68%.
Right.
Means both variable explaining 68% variation of blood pressure.
Right.
So can we explain it like this weight is contributing only 8%?
No, we cannot say that.
Then how will explain it? Means if we are individually, we want to know which factor is contributing how much.
That we cannot do.
Okay.
And you might be wondering why I'm saying we cannot do it. Because they are correlated. There is something in common. Say you have the PP, right? You have the age, and you have the weight. So there is something common. That commonality doesn't allow me to separate each individual effect. We cannot do that. Very difficult.
Sir, if this intersection between age and weight would have been very huge, then it would have been multicollinearity problem.
Multicollinearity problem, yes.
If the intersection area would have been very huge.
Yes, yes, Sutapa. Am I right when I said Sutapa?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, thank you, sir.
So it's very difficult to segregate individual effect. The R squares are not additive. If you run weight separately, you will get a different R square. I think let me show you. If I open a I take this problem and if I regress BP with age, sorry, this is a wrong file I have opened. So R square is coming to be 61.09. And if I regress it with respect to weight, then it's coming to be 0.45. So I cannot say that the total R square is 0.61 plus 0.45. They are not additive. So Dr. Devendra, it's not possible for me to isolate the effects because they are interrelated with each other. So individual effect, we cannot isolate. That's not possible. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So independent variables and error term, if they are omitted and we have the correlation, then it leads to problem which is called endogeneity problem. And that's what we are going to discuss in detail. So if there is a correlation between omitted variable and independent variable, that will lead to correlation between independent and error term, and that leads to endogeneity problem. And that takes us to the concept of exogeneity and endogeneity. Endogeneity broadly refers to the situations in which an explanatory variable is correlated with the error term. So whenever your explanatory variable is correlated with error term, then we have endogeneity problem. Okay, that means the covariance between X and the error term is not equal to 0. On the other hand, exogeneity means that each X variable does not depend on the dependent variable Y, rather Y depends on X and on error term. Okay, so Y is a function of X and error term. If X also becomes a function of Y, then it will also become a function of error term because Y depends upon error term. So if X depends upon Y, it also depends upon E, and that creates a problem. And that's what we may understand by endogeneity. No correlation between the X and error term. Since Y depends on error term, this means that X's are assumed to be independent of Y, hence independent of error term. It is required because if the independent variables are not independent of error term in Y, then estimated regression coefficients may not be unbiased, consistent, efficient if we use OLS. So if there is no exogeneity or endogeneity, your estimates will not be blue estimates. Regressors are said to be exogenous if they do not have endogeneity problem. And if expected value of the error term given all xi are 0 for all I and t, then they are called strictly exogenous. It means that at each time the error term is uncorrelated with the regressors with their lags and leads. That means error term.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry, sir.
Right.
The voice was breaked in between. So can you please elaborate the exogeneity problem?
When we do not have endogeneity, we have exogeneity.
Okay.
That means the correlation between X and the error term is 0. Then we have exogeneity.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, if it is not equal to 0, we have endogeneity problem.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you please give a related example here?
Related example of what?
Problem of exogeneity.
Yes, we have given a weight problem, the blood pressure problem.
Okay, okay.
Blood pressure problem, right? So we
Yes, sir.
have your alpha plus beta age plus error term, right? And weight is sitting inside the error term, right? And when weight is sitting in the error term, then the covariance between the age and the error term will not be 0.
Yes.
So that shows endogeneity problem. Is that clear, Dr. Shikha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a concept of what is called strict exogeneity and weak exogeneity. That means if you have, say, t minus 1, t minus 2, t plus 1, plus 2, like that. So if with all lags of x, you do not find any correlation with the error term, whether they are related to past, present, or future, then we say we have strict exogeneity. In case of weak, future is not considered, past and present is considered, then we have weak exogeneity. Under strict exogeneity, the error term is unrelated with the past, present, and future values of x. In such a case, x is completely independent of y, strict exogeneity. Under weak exogeneity, unrelated only with the past values of x or the present values of x, nothing of future. So that's how we distinguish between strict exogeneity and weak exogeneity. Exogeneity ensures that OLS estimates are blue estimates. Endogeneity creates problem for OLS estimates as they no longer remains blue. So exogeneity is my friend. Endogeneity is my foe. And this endogeneity is going to teach us what should we do to take care of this problem. Okay. So again, now we should worry about endogeneity problem because it attacks our friend OLS, and due to it, OLS estimates remain no longer blue estimates. They may become biased, inconsistent, and inefficient. And therefore, you should take care of endogeneity problem in your data. Okay, and strict exogeneity is required to obtain unbiased estimates. That's important. And this is strict exogeneity assumption will be throughout with us when we talk about panel data, because that will ensure unbiased estimates. And endogeneity may be caused by omitted variable bias. That's one reason. Other reasons could be measurement error, simultaneity. That means yt is impacting xt and xt is impacting yt. Both are impacting each other. Simultaneity problem. And that creates endogeneity problem. And then dynamic relationship, yt and yt minus 1. In our 3 days, we will concentrate endogeneity problem caused by omitted variable bias and dynamic relationship. These we are not going to talk about. Be clear in your mind. We shall be concentrating how to take care of omitted variable bias and how to take care of endogeneity problem caused by dynamic relationship of the variables.
Sir, but endogeneity is also caused by measurement error and simultaneity, as you said.
Right.
So, give us a brief idea about it, so that otherwise we will not be able to understand.
Sitapa, what's your background? What is the area in which you work?
The finance.
Okay. How do we calculate dividend payout ratio?
Sir, equity dividend by PAT.
Okay. Equity dividend by PAT. Okay.
Yes.
Are you sure there is no measurement error in it?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
What
so how do I understand whether there is any measurement error or not? How do I follow that?
You have to think about it now. What about the dividend distribution tax?
Yes, sir. DDT is there.
And if you don't take it, what will happen?
The ratio will go up.
If you don't take it,
yes, sir.
Ratio up कैसे हो जाएगी?
The ratio will go down.
Will go down if you don't take it. And where you will see the impact of the dividend distribution? कहीं ना कहीं impact जाएगा ना, वो कहाँ जाएगा? Error term में घुस जाएगा वो.
Okay, sir.
हो गया ना, मेजरमेंट की वजह से error term में घुस के प्रॉब्लम कर रहा है वो. क्योंकि higher equity dividend which you pay, higher will be the dividend distribution tax, and you will find correlation with the error term because it's residing in the error term.
Okay, sir.
तो कोई स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल नहीं है जो आपको बताएगा कि मेजरमेंट एरर है कि नहीं है. वो तो आप ही को डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा कि मेजरमेंट एरर है कि नहीं है.
Okay, I've understood, sir. That we will have to understand from the concept of the topic. Yes. And sir, what about the simultaneity? Okay. That also from the concept.
Right.
Okay, sir. I've got
it. I give you the example. Investment and cash holding. Okay, so a company is parking in funds in, say, mutual fund, okay, in equities, right? So, tell me, Sutapa, if a company is having surplus cash, don't you think they will go for investment?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Right. So if they go for investment, they will earn income on it?
Yes, sir.
That will
go back to cash.
So what does it mean? This is
so which is a starting point, we don't know. Whether the investment is a starting point or the cash holding is a starting point for accumulation of cash.
But there is a simultaneity issue, right? One is
yes, sir. One is impacting, this a cyclical
X
thing.
Is impacting Y and Y is also impacting
X. Yes.
That is simultaneity problem.
Okay, so that also we have to verify from the concept of the whatever topic we are doing. Whether yes. Okay, thank you.
Can we statistically prove that we have?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Pooja.
Sir, for measurement error and simultaneity issues, the techniques are different?
Yes, of course.
Okay. For simultaneity, can we apply GMM?
Pooja, but why you are asking this question?
Sir, I read somewhere.
कि simultaneity में GMM use कर सकते हैं?
I read somewhere someone has applied 2S less and other paper they have applied GMM.
Simultaneity problem.
Sir.
Yeah, endogeneity problem.
Yeah, sir, endogeneity problem.
तो simultaneity कहाँ से आ रही है बीच में?
Endogeneity is caused by simultaneity, no?
No, but that is one of the cause.
Yes.
But GMM is used for endogeneity problem caused by simultaneity.
Sir, you please let me know.
Yeah, but you have read it, ना? मैंने तो नहीं पढ़ा वो.
Okay, so sir, if simultaneity
GMM जो use किया है उसने to take care of endogeneity problem.
Yes, sir.
No problem. But what was the cause for that endogeneity which they are taking care of?
Sir, I will check.
कौन सी endogeneity को problem को solve कर रहा?
I will check it again and I will definitely come in front of you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
ठीक है.
Yes,
तो तुम पहले check करो ना कि GMM कौन सी endogeneity problem को solve कर रहा है.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so friends, I was saying that no statistically measure is available to prove whether endogeneity problem exists or not. It's all theoretical. You have to prove it theoretically. I mean, it's clearly mentioned there is no way to statistically ensure that endogeneity problem has been solved or has been created. Statistical tools are not available. And if you try to get the correlation between X and the error term by using OLS, they will be always zero. So you cannot see it, you cannot observe it statistically. That's not possible. So it's all theoretical, which you have to think. So friend, trust that by now you got an understanding about the concept of exogeneity and endogeneity. If any one of you have any questions, let me know. Any question before we proceed further? Make sure that you get a clarity about endogeneity and exogeneity issues. No? Good. So let's see what next we are going to talk about. So far we were building up the discussion for endogeneity issue. And the techniques which are going to take care of, with the techniques which are going to discuss, they are going to take care of endogeneity problems of particular kind. I will not say that the tools which we are going to use will solve all endogeneity problems, but they can solve some particular kind of endogeneity problems. So friends, let's have a break because this is a logical break, which I think I should take here, right? And after 15 minutes back, after 15 minutes, we will come back and go ahead with this discussion. Anyone having any question, please make sure that you get absolute clarity of what we have discussed.
So, sir,
yes, Weber, please.
So, sir, we have reached a conclusion till now that exogeneities are friend and endogeneities is our enemy.
Right. Weber, please.
Yes, sir, but that was what I was asking.
Right. So endogeneity is my foe, and we have to take care of it. If we don't take care of it, then your estimates will not be blue estimates. सारी फाइट ही यहीं पे है और कोई फाइट ही नहीं है. नहीं तो मैं OLS लगा देता ना. Why we are going for something else? OLS लगाओ, शांति से बैठो, आराम से, कोई टेंशन नहीं. But I cannot do that.
Can I ask that which software we will use after 50?
Stata.
Stata. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, e-views will not be used.
I'm not going to use that, but if you want, you can use that.
Okay, sir.
Use कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
Okay, sir.
Sir, how to take care of that simultaneity problem?
We have different methods. One is you can take about simultaneous equations model to take care of it. Okay, and maybe you can think of some variables which do not create simultaneity problem and use that. So those things you can think of.
Okay, sir.
So if there is no more questions, so let's have a break, friends. After 15 minutes back, We will come back and continue with our discussion.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Right.
So everyone, we are taking a break for 15 minutes and we will join the session after 15 minutes.
Yes, sir, we can start now.
Okay. So friends, with this backdrop discussion, now let's start with panel data, okay? But first a question. Sorry. Why should we use panel data? And I'm sure that many of you are working with the panel data. What motivates you to go for panel data? Why should you go for it? And why can't you apply OLS? You must understand, why do you want to work with the panel data? And why can't you apply OLS? Why do you want to learn about panel data? Any one of you like to respond?
Sir, because of our nature of data, if it is both cross-section and time series in nature, then we apply panel regression on panel
But
data.
why do you, Pooja, why do you apply panel? You simply use OLS? What's the problem in that?
Sir, already you told us that if we apply OLS
Right.
on panel data, it may not give us correct estimates.
But I didn't say कि अगर पैनल में डेटा में OLS लगाओगे तो नहीं होगा. मैंने ये तो नहीं कहा. Endogeneity के केस में कहा मैंने.
Okay. Sir, might
Endogeneity
be...
problem may exist in cross section also.
Yes, sir.
Endogeneity problem may exist in the cross sectional data as well.
Yes, true. Let me think, sir.
So because of time series, there is a problem of the dynamic relationship YT and YT minus 1.
Okay. Suppose you don't want to study the dynamic relationship, then?
No, so even if we don't want to study, I mean, if it is there in the data, won't it affect the estimates then?
नहीं पर क्यों होगा ऐसे? OLS लगा लो ना, खत्म हुई बात. क्या दिक्कत है?
So can it be because the error terms are more and therefore the multicollinearity across the error terms will create more problem?
Nisha, error term, multicollinearity thing, I don't know in what context you're talking about.
So basically what I'm talking about, sir, is that across the cross sections and time series, there will be error terms which will be impacting each other and therefore...
Impacting each other means there is autocorrelation in the error term.
Can be.
You need to say the error term of the period T may be correlated with the error term of the period T minus 1. That's what you're saying.
Or even in the, for example, if I'm taking panel of 2 different countries, so the error term in one country can have an impact on the error term of other country also. So in that case, OLS might not work.
Suppose you take 2 countries cross-sectional data.
Right.
So in that case, do you think the error term will be correlated?
Sir, if the variables are common across, then there might be some
Variables are
correlation.
common across. No? When you are doing a study,
Exactly. So there might be some
variables.
correlation. For example, an exchange rate.
So why you are blaming panel? Panel को क्यों बदनाम कर रहे हो? Cross section में भी वही problems हो सकती हैं.
Right.
Sir, what I think that this cross-section characteristics, like two countries or like two places, they have some individual characteristics, and we cannot club them together. And if we are clubbing together and using OLS, means we are ignoring that their individuality, and that may create the problem.
Okay. So panel data will help us in taking care of it. Is that Dr. Devinder you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. I mean, as a researcher, you must answer this question to yourself. Why you're working with the panel data? What is the advantage you are going to get from panel data? Okay, that is something which you have to look at. Okay. Anyway, we will try to discuss all these issues when we confront with panel data. So panel data is a set having both cross-sectional data as well as time series data, and it is also called longitudinal data. So cross-section plus time series gives you panel data. Okay. So we have XIT, I for cross-sectional and T for the time. And T is ordered. So you have a fixed time sequence, ordered sequence, while cross-section may be non-ordered. So you can write company 1. You have a 10-year data from 2001 to 2010. Then you can have 10th company, or you can have a data set like second, 3, doesn't make a difference. Because the cross sections are need not to be ordered, but time series data should be ordered. Why do we talk about panel data analysis? Panel data analysis help us in controlling individual unobserved heterogeneity. And Dr. Devendra, I think you are referring to this particular phenomena.
Yes.
Individual unobserved heterogeneity does exist in cross-sectional data as well as the time series data. But there we cannot do anything. Panel data gives us that richness to take care to handle that unobserved heterogeneity, because you have same cross-sectional unit I, which you are observing over a period of time. So that observation over a period of time will help you in understanding why different cross-sectional units are having different behavior. If you have only one figure of one cross-section, that characteristic of that particular cross-section, you may not be able to capture. So that is one of the important motivation for me to go for panel data analysis. It gives more information, more informative data, more variability, less collinearity among variables, and more degrees of freedom and more efficiency. By using panel data, we can also study dynamics of change. And you can study dynamics of change over cross-section over time. Panel data analysis can better detect and measure effects that simply cannot be observed in pure cross-sectional data or pure time series data. Panel data is rich.
Sir, can you show just previous slide once again?
Which slide? Previous one?
Yeah, previous one.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
What is that you want to see in it?
I could not note down the third one, dynamics of change.
Okay. Panel data models allows us to construct and test more complicated behavioral models than purely cross-section and time series data, and provides larger data set, provides larger degrees of freedom, and that ensures better quality of estimates. Sanjana, can you mute yourself? Okay. So friends, to be precise, with repeated observations enough for cross-section, panel analysis permits us to study the dynamics of change with short time series. Combination of time series with cross-section can enhance the quality and quantity of data in ways that would be impossible using when you go for pure cross-sectional data and the pure time series data. Provides rich and powerful study of a set of people if one is willing to consider both space and time dimensions of the data. Space means cross-sectional and time dimension is the T. So motivation of panel data is a large data set we get, better quality of the estimates we get, help us in modeling complicated behavior of the variables. And something which you cannot do in pure cross-sectional and pure time series, you can do in panel data. So because of this richness in the data, we prefer to go for panel data models rather than pure cross-sectional and pure time series. Now let's talk about the concept of balanced and unbalanced panel. If each cross-sectional unit has the same number of time series observations, then such a data is called balanced panel data. So you have cross-section unit 1, 2, you have the data for 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. For the second one, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. For each cross section, if you have the same time series observations, then it is called balanced. If someone is missing, suppose you don't have 18 data here, then it will become unbalanced panel data. Let me take an example. Suppose we have the variable x1, x2, x3. We have a cross-section units and the time. Say 2016, 17, 18. Jagruti, do you have a question? Jagruti, you have raised your hand. Any questions if you have?
Sir?
Yes.
So will you provide PPTs at the end of the lecture or after the workshop ends?
Yes, yes, you will get it.
Okay.
Don't worry. Suppose we have the data like this. No data, data here. Is it an example of a balanced panel data or unbalanced panel data?
Unbalanced.
Unbalanced panel data, sir.
This is balanced. Because for all cross section, you have the all times series data. If one variable or the other variable values are missing, that does not make it unbalanced. Please understand that. If you're having 10 variables, out of 10 variables, if one variable value is not available, it doesn't mean that your panel is unbalanced panel. From here, it should not be missing. That's important. Is that okay? If some variable's value is missing, it does not make your panel unbalanced. What makes it unbalanced is the time series data. For all cross sections, you have the all time series data. If cross section units do not have the same number of time series observations, then it is called unbalanced. We are not talking about variables missing or not missing. Like here we have 82, 83, 88, same, balanced. Panel. Okay. The balanced panel which we have, it may be called strongly balanced and weakly balanced. When the data set contains a time variable, then panels are said to be strongly balanced if each panel contains same time points. If each panel contains the same number of observations, but same time points are not there, then we say we have what is called weakly balanced panel. What does it mean? It means the following. See here, you have 82, 83, 85, 87, 88. This is strongly balanced, same. Here we have 5 years data, 5 years data, 5 years data, 5 years data, but the years are different. the years are not same, then it is called weakly balanced panel. And this understanding is important because many softwares gives you message whether your panel is strongly balanced or weakly balanced. But as far as the processing is concerned, I don't see any difference. You can do in the same way, but for understanding interpretation purposes, you have to understand the difference between weakly balanced and strongly balanced panels. And unbalanced means, see here, 4 years data, then you have 5 years data, 3 years data, 5 years data. Example of unbalanced panel. Then we have a concept of short versus long panel. In the short panel, time series T is small and cross section N is large. So normally mathematically large means if it tends to infinity, but practical purposes, it should be large as compared to time period. And cross-sectional units N are small, time is large, then we have long panel. Most of our work will be on short panel. So we have more cross-sectional units as compared to the time period. So if you have 100 companies, 10-year data, it's a short panel. Five countries, 30 years data, then it will be taken as a long panel. But our concentration will be more on short panel and not on the long panel. Because the tools which you are going to use is the applicable for the short panels, not for the long panels.
Sir, can I ask one question here, sir?
Yes, Shushma, please go ahead.
Sir, if I have a sample of 110 companies, and if I want to take the data for 4 years, can it be considered under short panel, sir?
Short panel, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because your cross section is larger and time period is less.
Yes, sir. So 3 to 4 years also I can take now under panel data.
You can.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It should be more than one period, that's it. So I was saying we shall concentrate on short panels. So
sir, is there any ideal number of years or the ideal number of time period which we should take?
Deep G, कोई ideal नहीं होता है. There's nothing like ideal.
ठीक है sir.
Because it depends upon so many things, your objective, your hypothesis, your nature of the problem, your data availability, okay? So it's very difficult to say what is the ideal size of the sample, ideal size of the time period, difficult.
So there is a one question in the chat box. One participant is asking, what should be the minimum time period for short panel data?
But why it's not coming to me?
Because the chat is to host only.
So you allow them
Okay, sure, sir. Okay, sure. Okay.
हाँ, उनको बोलो मेरे को directly address करें.
Okay, sir.
Because I'm continuously seeing chat, I'm not getting any chat.
Okay, sir. So I have made the changes.
Thank you. So again, my answer is that there is no ideal time frame. You have to work according to your problem, your nature of data, and availability of the data. There's no ideal thing. Okay, so can I get the direct chats from the participants now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, year 5 and company 5, that is short panel.
Company numbers are 5.
And year also 5.
Normally ऐसा होता नहीं है कि दोनों नंबर exactly same हो. Normally ऐसा होता नहीं है.
Say I am analyzing the data of 5 fertilizer companies and I have taken the data of 5 years.
So you can, I think you can go ahead with the short.
Short, okay.
You can go ahead with the short. But why you are not increasing the number of companies?
Now, actually, my interest is that 5 listed fertilizer company. There are 5 listed fertilizer company. I have to take the data of 5 years only, or 10 years. I can take. It is not a problem.
But there are only 5 listed companies.
Yeah, 5 fertilizer listed companies.
I'm sorry, which word? I'm not able to get that word. Which listed companies you're talking about?
Say Chambal Fertilizers.
Okay.
And
you are talking about fertilizer companies, right?
Yeah.
So there are only 5 fertilizer companies.
Yeah, assume that 5 listed 5 fertilizer company, and 5 steel companies.
Okay.
Listed company. I want to study for listed company only.
ठीक है. Then take it as a short. और कोई option नहीं है इसमें हमारे पास में. I don't think we have any other option. If your data is like this, then it's okay. So friends, take a pause, meditate what we have discussed so far. And because I want that your foundation should be as strong as possible.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So, sir, as you mentioned that the techniques that we'll talk about will be more, concentrated towards short panel. So, is it that they differ for short panel, or is it that they are more suitable for them?
They're more suitable for it because of their statistical properties.
Okay. So, sir, just coming from my background, I'll just take a brief, moment of your time. I am going to be studying about 5 crops, their consumption pattern, and across 10 years time, how the consumption expenditure is changing on them over the 10 years.
We call it macro panels.
Okay.
I think your background is from economics, right?
Yes, sir. So basically, I'm going to be studying the consumption pattern of, high value products. So when I say high value, fruits and vegetables, poultry, dairy, etc., and how their consumption has changed over the past 10 years through the consumption expenditure. So I have, cross section of 4 to 5 crops and time series of around 10 years.
It's one question from Sampati also. They want to know the reference for it. Maybe tomorrow I can share the reference on macro panels.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Because treatment of the macro panels is different as compared to what we do in short panel. And in finance, normally we work with the companies. So the company's number is normally larger than the number of years which we get.
Right. Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you.
Sampati, I will be sharing with you the some reference about macro panels, okay, tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Christian, it will be considered as a short panel because your I is more than your N is more than T. Okay. Anybody else having any other question? Yes.
Sir, is it always good to take the time period when there is no structural break like we did in yesterday's session? That we have to take the time period when there is no structural break. Is it good, sir? Or we can take...
You can take it, but you can model the structural break. See, if you say, for example, 2000, around 2000, derivatives are introduced into the Indian markets, right? Okay. So
Yes,
that
sir.
was the point when you have this structural break. Because the whole trading system have changed because of the introduction of the derivatives. So if you have the data available from 1990, for example, so why should you leave that data? Take care of the structural break by introducing dummy.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I have a question. It's like you said balanced data case. Even if it's for same time period, even missing values are there. It's considered as balanced. So if I'm going to study about for Indian banks and foreign banks, so some variables are there. It may not be available for some of the foreign banks. So in that case, it is considered as balanced data only, not unbalanced.
It's a balanced panel data.
Okay, even if it's for 10 years also, that variable value is missing.
Right. For all the 10 years, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So I have to take it as...
So what the software will do, will throw out that particular variable from your analysis and will concentrate the other variables.
Okay, sir.
And
Thank you, sir.
Take it as a balanced.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Neha, I think, Neha Mangla, I think you got an answer your questions.
Yes, sir. So what we will be discussing here as short panels will not be applicable in that case.
Right. Because of their statistical properties.
Okay. So, but
why you're using them as a panel data?
So because I want to see the impact of certain macroeconomic variables given the change due to COVID in terms of many macroeconomic things, variables.
On the performance of the mutual fund.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I trust by now you are capable of taking challenges of your panel data model, and I'm gradually building up your foundation for preparing you for panel data. So why there is a need to talk about different tools for panel data analysis?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Pooja.
Sir, when a variable information is missing for a year, suppose that it means it's a balanced panel, right, sir?
For a particular variable, right?
Information for a variable for a particular year is a missing.
Right, it's still
It's a
balanced.
balanced. So we shall keep it as a blank. When we prepare an Excel sheet, panel sheet, we will keep it as blank.
Anybody would like to answer? Neha Saini, tum answer do. Should we keep it as a blank?
No, sir.
Kyun?
No, sir, it should not be blank.
Kyun?
So the whole record will not be treated in the analysis then.
So what should
I am not agree with that actually. If
No.
it is kept blank, that is the year is if year is same, then what's the problem? It is not creating any problem. If the 5 years data is there, if one data is missing, then nothing wrong in it. What actually you have stated in the panel data.
Mr. Prabal, the question is different. The question is when I'm preparing my data in Excel, right? We have a variable 1, 2, 3. One particular year variable value is not missing. So should I put it as a blank or should I put some number there? That's the question.
So we should keep it blank.
It can be kept blank. It can be
Yes.
kept blank.
But I will not generalize it because it depends upon the software you are using. Because many times software read blank as 0.
In SPSS, actually, what actually we should do a 99.99 something like that. We are writing, and that is calculated as an average in SPSS.
Right. So what I'm saying is that I cannot say that you keep it as a blank. It depends upon the software which you're using. Because how that software reads as a blank would depend करता है कि वो क्या कर रहा है उसमें. Blank को वो 0 ले रहा है, blank को null ले रहा है, blank को missing ले रहा है, blank को वो कैसे treat कर रहा है.
सर स्टेटा में क्या लेंगे?
स्टेटा में अगर आप उसको एक्सेल में 0 ब्लैंक छोड़ दोगे तो मिसिंग लेता है उसको.
सर तो क्या करना चाहिए फिर?
ब्लैंक छोड़ दो उसको, स्टेटा में ब्लैंक ले लेगा वो.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
सर इन ईव्यूज
में भी ब्लैंक को वो मिस कर देता है. SPSS में नहीं होता है ना. That's why Prabal is saying we have to add some values of 999, 9.9 something to declare it as a missing value. तो वो सॉफ्टवेयर टू सॉफ्टवेयर वो होता है. कई जगह वो एज ए स्ट्रिंग भी उसको पिकअप करता है तो प्रॉब्लम करता है. वो इट डिपेंड्स. मोस्टली ब्लैंक काम कर जाता है, पर कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा वो आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा अपने सॉफ्टवेयर के लिए.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
What comes to your mind when you see cross? It means cross
danger
section. And T for time. So what Stata understand, if you write XT, Stata understand it as panel. It reads X as a cross section, T as time. Joining together, it reads it as a panel data. So all commands related to panel will start with XT. And this is all small. Stata is case sensitive, so be careful about the case which you are using. Like you have the XT set, setting, data as panel data. होस्ट से रिक्वेस्ट है संजना को म्यूट करो जरा। संजना को म्यूट करो। So before you start working with the panel data, you have to declare your data as a panel data. And for that, the command which you use is called xt set. Xtreg is for regression for panel data. And xt describe, xt summarize, xt tabulate, xt tab. So there are some of the basic commands for panel data analysis, and all the commands will start with xt. I show you how do we do it. Suppose I open up a file. And I show you the data which we have in it. We have the district, we have the years, we have their birth rate, we have their death rate, number of Anganwadis worker in this number of workers. Okay, and we want to check whether the death rate in a particular district depends upon its birth rate and the number of Anganwadi workers in district. So the very first thing which you have to do is set as panel structure. So xt set. So you have to give the cross-sectional identifier, that is district, and the time identifier, that's year, and it says that strongly balanced panel, and time variable is from 2012 to 2017. Now we have declared the declared data as a panel data. And if you want to get the summary of the data, you use the command xt sum, then write the number of variables for which you want summary, birth rate, death rate, number of workers, and that's what we get. So we have the mean of it. Overall, we have the standard deviation, minimum, maximum, number of observations 30. 5 is the cross section, and T is the time period 6. Yes, Nisha Gupta, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to ask if I want to understand that how the rate of urbanization has affected the consumption. Now, urbanization will remain the same for, I mean, I do not have data year on year. So, for example, I mean, I have the data year on year, but in each crop, that same figure will get repeated. So that's okay, right?
No, that's okay, no problem.
Okay.
It happens in the macroeconomic variables, right?
Yes, sir.
So suppose, I think somebody was working on the stock market. So you have the companies, I think, who is working on the mutual fund? Nisha.
Me,
Sir
Neha,
Neha.
I talked, yeah.
Neha, okay. So he is working on the macroeconomic factors, mutual funds. So whatever mutual funds you take, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, the macroeconomic factors like GDP, interest, that will be same for all. No difference.
Okay, so every year the same figure will appear for different
Yes,
crops.
for all cross section.
Right, exactly. Thank you, sir.
So what is this delta 1 unit?
Delta 1 unit means? Okay, delta 1 unit means the time is changing by 1 unit.
Okay.
So it will be 2012, 13, 14, like that. So the change is 1 year change. What that it means. Okay. Before we start working with the panel, we must set data at the as per panel data requirements. In Stata, for that we use time dimension and cross-section data. So cross-section is the unit of the form identity, and time dimension is this. Please note that identification code of the form or unit should be numeric. And if it is not numeric, by using this command, you can convert them into numeric. IGEN, company ID, group, company name. So let me check if I have some data. Let me check where we have the name of the data, cross-sectional unit rather than the numeric. Right. So here we have the country name. If you see the data, and we have the population, GDP, country, company ID, and all that. Suppose I delete it from here. Save it. It's an Excel file, so I have to import it as an Excel file. So go to File, Import, Excel, browse for the file. This is my Word, population, GDP. First row is variable name. So I show you the data which we have here. Data editor, that's the data which we have. So you have to define as a panel data set. So you have to use the command xt set, then name of the country, then here, what does it say? String variables not allowed in variable list. Country is a string variable. So if you have the company names, not the identification, numeric identifier for the company or the country, then you have to first convert it into the numeric field. For that, the command is egin. I think suppose I define a variable as country code, which is equal to group and name of the country. And if you see your data, you'll find a country code is being generated. And once the country code is generated, now you can define the panel. Now you can say xt set your country code and year. Strongly balanced panel, and we have the data from 1979 to 2008, and delta is 1 unit. We have the yearly data. That's what it says. Okay. So if your cross-sectional unit is in the string format, then you have to convert them into numeric by making use of this command. Okay. Right, so we have done the practice in this data. Any question? Now we have this question. What is this between and within? Like here, if you take the summary of it, xt summarize. Suppose I get the data about log of GDP. Then overall I can understand that means total data. But what is this between? What is this within? And if I just take the summary of, LGDP, not the panel summary, only the summary. Just a minute. Then it gives me the overall. As you can see here, same. So overall is total. But what is this between and within? That is something which you have to understand. Okay. Anyone? Any idea?
So one is related to maybe the difference across time. I think it is between, and within is related to difference within the cross sections.
Within time means what? You take the time data.
Sir, across the different cross sections and within a cross section.
Just a minute.
So your small n were different cross sections.
Yes.
And within is one cross section.
So, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I think my system is hanged. It's not working. Just give me a minute. Yes. Just give me a minute.
So can I ask a question in the meantime?
Yes, sure, you can.
So, sir, do we have to, before running the panel, do a stationarity check and everything for all variables as well?
But why should we do that?
No, I'm just asking you, sir. I'm
But
not too
तुम्हारे
sure.
मन में question क्यों आया ये?
Sir, because yesterday we were doing one hour time series data. And usme before we run the time series, we did a stationarity check and everything for all the variables before running, so as to detrend and everything.
Okay.
So in this case also, do we have to do it?
But why do we check for stationarity in time series?
So basically to detrend the data if there is some trend which is.
Why there is a need to de-trend it? हाँ बताओ ना तुम.
हाँ जी sir, I'm just trying to tell
रिसर्चर
you.
को तो दिमाग चलाना है, इंटेलेक्चुअल एक्टिविटी है, कोई फिजिकल एक्टिविटी थोड़ी है.
Sir, so basically if there is already some trend which is existing, we remove that, make the data absolutely stationary, and then try and find some results on that.
What is stationarity?
So to make the memory finite, so if it is the memory is taking, is infinite, then we will not be able to.
So basically, stationarity would mean returning to its mean. It's not kind of varying.
Their mean and variance is constant.
Exactly.
Mean is constant, variance is constant, covariance is constant.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Right. And we do it because we believe that over the period of time, this may change. Right? Just a minute. Madam. 305. ठीक हाँ 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 A. Right. So, there is a lot of debate. Should we check for stationarity in panel data or not? Okay. Right. Suppose you run a panel data model. Suppose I run a panel data model, say y is equal to alpha plus beta x plus time dummy. Plus error term. So what is the implication of time dummy? What is the implication of the time dummy? The implication of the time dummy is that if every year effect is different, I'm able to capture it. Stationarity is checked to know whether every year time effect is same or not. Please understand that. Why do you say that mean is not same, mean is not constant, variance is not constant? Stationarity is what? Sorry. Stationarity means mean is not constant, variance is not constant, covariance is not constant. Over time, right? And the moment you say over time, what does it mean? It means that it differs from year to year. Or period to period. If that is differing from year to year and you're capturing it through dummy, why should I check for stationarity in that case? We should not. No need. But the condition is you have to make use of time dummy. And in most of the panel data studies, we use time dummies to take care of any effect caused by the time. So if you're using time dummy, then there is no need to check for stationarity. I mean, if you look at a good article or good text, there you will not find the stationarity check for the panel data. Is that okay?
Yes.
Time series, yes, you should check for it. Because you cannot introduce So normally when we do the panel data, we don't check for stationarity. We don't do that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But don't forget to add time dummies into your model. That's important. Any other question? Okay, coming back to that, what is between and what is, within? To understand the difference between within and between, let's take some data. So you have a cross-section unit and you have a time and you have a variable x1. So cross-section unit 1, 2, 3. We have a time variable 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take mean, what I'm doing here, I'm calculating mean within.
Cross section, each cross section.
Within. Right? And then if you do the further analysis, that will be called within analysis. Same time period for one cross-sectional unit, take the mean. And then you calculate the variances, whatever you want to do. Okay. If I take difference between x1 and x2, what I'm doing?
Between.
Between.
So between means between the cross-sectional unit, and within means within a cross-sectional unit. So when you get this number here between, that means you have cross-sectional unit 1, 2, 3, and then taking the difference. And when I say within, so within 1, within 2, within 3, like that. So that's how we see the difference between within and between. For calculating between effect, it considers mean of each individual over time. That is, it decomposes IT into a between mean. Right? So now what I'm doing is I'm calculating mean within for each cross-sectional unit, xi, and taking the difference. 1, 2, 3. And within means, for calculating within effect, what I'm doing, xit minus mean of xi. This we add in some software. So we calculate this within. And why this should be calculated? Why should we know between and within? Just to get insight about the data. What's happening within the cross section and what is happening between the cross section. Just to get that insight, we do this analysis. Otherwise, there is no point in doing it. Just to get the characteristics of how the variables are behaving within cross section and across the cross section. Yes.
Can we say that then between is essentially capturing the difference of characteristics of cross section? So, for example, if I talk about mutual fund, one may be different from the other in terms of investments it makes. So that is capturing that difference.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And why there is a difference within a mutual fund? There is also
over time.
That may be also of interest to you.
Yes, yes.
So that will, in that case, you're talking about within. Okay, I think you can better appreciate if you look at ANOVA. ANOVA में क्या करते हैं हम लोग? बताओ. Suppose you have different groups. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Test for equality of needs.
What we do in, we have within, right? Within variation and across the variation. And then we calculate F ratio, which is a ratio of between variation divided by within variation. So that helps us in understanding कि within क्या हो रहा है और across क्या हो रहा है. Right? So that's how we see the difference between between estimates and across estimates or between estimates.
So can you please repeat those slides where you have given the command for this panel data and another one?
Okay, I do. They are very simple commands. XT set, XT reg for the regression that we will be using later on to describe the characteristics of the data, take the summary of the data, tabulate the data. I can show you. Suppose I want to describe the data, XT this. If you write this one, sorry, it doesn't allow me to get the variable list. That the description of the data.
Sir, I have given the command xt set district here as you have given, but I'm getting variable district not found where I have done the mistake, sir. So
have you defined the set panel data? XT set use किया आपने?
नहीं sir, वो sir please वो वाला दिखा
पहले
दीजिए
use
sir.
करो. XT set use करो पहले. XT set. ये पहले लिखो क्रॉस सेक्शनल यूनिट और उसके बाद लिखो ईयर यूनिट टाइम वाली. एंटर कर दो. Now you can use all XT commands.
XT set, then district and year.
First cross section, then time.
But
For
sir,
this birth rate file, I think this is district and year, sir.
Catches?
बर्थ रेट वाली फाइल में सर
हाँ
ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट और ईयर होगा ना सर, क्रॉस सेक्शनल एंड टाइम।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
सर मैं वही कर रही हूँ, फिर भी एरर आ रहा है।
तुमने टैब वो किया है क्या, सेट किया पहले?
सर एक्सटी सेट डिस्ट्रिक्ट ईयर ही किया था सर, उसके बाद वो आ रहा है वेरिएबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट नॉट फाउंड।
तुमने कैपिटल में लिखा है, कैसे लिखा है चेक करो।
सर स्मॉल डी इज स्मॉल।
डिस्ट्रिक्ट पूरा लिखा। तुम्हारी फाइल कौन सी खुली हुई है?
सर बर्थ रेट डेटा डॉट एक्सएलएस।
तो वहां पे लेफ्ट टॉप पे डिस्ट्रिक्ट नजर आ रहा है तुम्हें कहीं?
मेरे से भी कह रही थी वो कि अम्मा बहुत तो करती है। मैंने कहा अम्मा हमको भी क्या देती है, क्या
कहाँ पे?
टॉप लेफ्ट।
यस सर।
डिस्ट्रिक्ट नजर आ रहा है?
सर जो कमांड दी है वो रेड में नजर आ रहा है सर, और तो नहीं आ रहा कुछ।
अरे टॉप लेफ्ट, लेफ्ट में।
यस सर एक्सटी सेट पैनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट ईयर 101।
अरे तुम्हारा लेफ्ट टॉप कहाँ है? ऊपर वेरिएबल्स देखो लिखे होंगे कहीं टॉप लेफ्ट पे।
राइट
सॉरी राइट, टॉप राइट पे।
यस सर
टॉप राइट।
मैं गलत देख रही हूँ, मैं भी लेफ्ट ही देख रही थी सर। नहीं आ रहा सर, वेरिएबल नहीं आ रहे।
मैम आपने फाइल इंपोर्ट करी है?
हाँ मैंने की है
सर। मे बी igen कमांड इज नॉट यूज्ड। igen
इसमें आइजन नहीं है। तुम अपना स्क्रीन शेयर करो।
ओके सर।
सर एक मिनट राइट्स देने पड़ेंगे।
दे दो।
सुषमा मैम आप कीजिए अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर।
एक्चुअली मैं फोन से क्लास कर रही हूँ और लैपटॉप पे मैंने खोला हुआ है। दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम। फिर मुझे अभी जूम मीटिंग फिर ज्वाइन करनी पड़ेगी लैपटॉप से। इट विल टेक सम टाइम सर, यू कैन टेक अदर क्वेश्चंस। थैंक यू सर।
Sir, I am facing same problem. I can share the file, sir.
ठीक है सर। देवेंद्र सर आप करिए अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर, मैंने राइट्स दिए हुए हैं अभी।
सर एक बार आप वो स्टेप्स रिपीट कर देंगे ना, अगर शुरू से, मतलब वो जो 2-3 आपने दिखाए थे जहाँ से सेटिंग किया था, तो
फर्स्ट स्टेप तो
मैम जैसे हम आर में कर रहे थे ना, अटैच करते हैं फाइल, वैसे ही हम स्टेटा में भी पहले अटैच करेंगे। तो आप एक्सटी से करके उसको अटैच कर दो फाइल को, तभी आगे कमांड चलेगी।
वो पैनल डेटा तो बताना पड़ेगा ना कि पैनल डेटा स्ट्रक्चर है।
ओके सर, आई एम ज्वाइनिंग फ्रॉम माय लैपटॉप।
डॉक्टर देवेंद्र आप अपना शेयर कर लो अगर दिक्कत।
Lost the link. Sir, is it visible, sir?
नहीं है सर। सर आप पहले अपनी स्टॉप करिए स्क्रीन को।
ठीक है।
देवेंद्र सर अब आप अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर।
I've shared.
हाँ दिस इज योर स्क्रीन। ठीक है सर।
Yes.
आप पहले फाइल अटैच कीजिए।
एक्सटी सेट की कमांड ही नहीं दी इन्होंने।
हाँ इन्होंने फाइल भी अटैच नहीं है सर।
फाइल तो है,
फाइल है अटैच्ड। हाँ एक्सटी सेट की कमांड। सर जैसे आर में आप पहले अटैच फाइल करते हैं, वैसे इसमें कमांड कीजिए।
XT set
स्पेस डिस्ट्रिक्ट स्पेस ईयर एंटर।
Actually, sir, I have imported.
कौन से? अच्छा जीडीपी वाला है।
Yes, yes, yes.
एक सेकंड, आप ना विंडो पे जाओ, विंडो पे जाओ ऊपर। विंडो यूजर के साथ जो है ऊपर, हेल्प के साथ विंडो है ना।
Yes, sir.
हाँ यहाँ पे क्लिक करो। ठीक है, इसमें वेरिएबल पे क्लिक करो। ये वेरिएबल दिख गया तुम्हें?
Yes, yes, yes.
अब ये वेरिएबल यूज करके करो। एक्सटी सेट लिखो पहले तो कंट्री को। हाँ एक्सटी सेट स्पेस कंट्री कोड, यहाँ कंट्री कोड कंट्री का, यहाँ से क्लिक करो, कंट्री कोड पे क्लिक करो,
कंट्री कोड,
हाँ वेरिएबल में, हाँ यहाँ पे जो एरो दिख रहा है ना, एक सेकेंड, कंट्री कोड पे जाओ दोबारा, एरो दिख रहा है ना ये, क्लिक करो इसको, आ गया, ठीक है। ईयर पे जाओ, ईयर पे क्लिक कर दो, टाइप करने की जरूरत है, वहां से ले लो, एंटर कर दो, ठीक है। अब लिखो XT सम, एंटर करो, आ गया। मैडम सुषमा, पता लगा तुम्हें क्या प्रॉब्लम थी?
Sir, can I share my screen now?
देवेंद्र सर अपने स्टॉप कर दीजिए स्क्रीन को। हाँ सुषमा मैम आप शेयर कीजिए अपनी स्क्रीन।
Yes, I'm sharing it. Can you see?
Yes, yes.
मैडम ये कहाँ से?
सर क्या गलती की है मैंने?
ये ABCD कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये दोबारा फाइल ओपन करो।
सर विच वन?
ओपन जो अभी खोली है।
ब्लड प्रेशर वाली मैम।
हाँ
मैंने वैसे
बर्थ वाली।
बर्थ डेथ रेट डाटा, हाँ ये वाली।
ओपन करो।
यस सर। सेव कर दूं?
डोंट सेव।
ओके सर।
अब मैम डिस्ट्रिक्ट
XT सेट के आगे पैनल लिखा हुआ है ना कुछ, XT सेट पैनल।
मैम अब डिस्ट्रिक्ट करो।
ओके स्मॉल।
मैम ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट पे जाओ ना, राइट हैंड साइड पे जो है इसी पे क्लिक कर दो।
यहाँ पर?
हाँ एरो पे क्लिक कर दो। ठीक है, अब गैप दो। अब मैम वहीं पे जाके ईयर पे क्लिक कर दो।
ओके।
एरो एरो एरो।
ओके।
एंटर कर दो मैम।
यस
आ गया ना मैम?
यस यस यस, थैंक यू सो मच।
ओके मैम। मैम आप स्टॉप कर लीजिए अपनी स्क्रीन अब।
ओके ओके
सर अब आप लगा लीजिए अपनी स्क्रीन। And ma'am, don't worry, I will be sharing all the PPTs and all the commands for Stata as well as for R.
मैम अपनी PPTs भी डाल दीजिएगा।
हाँ जी सर। सर बस सर की भी आ जाए, सर की भी PPTs हो जाए ना एक बार।
ठीक है ठीक।
तो फिर मैं एक बार पूरी कंप्लीट PPTs को आपको भेज दूंगी विद ऑल द कमांड्स।
थैंक यू।
I think sir is facing some problem.
Ma'am, I'm also facing the same problem. I am using older version 13.0.
सर आप एक बार शेयर कीजिए अपनी स्क्रीन। मैंने आपको राइट्स दिए हैं।
Ma'am, I can't share because I'm.
Okay, you are from phone.
Yes, ma'am. iPad. I'm using iPad.
Okay, okay, okay. कोई बात नहीं सर, कल आप लैपटॉप से अगर कर सकते हो ना तो आप लैपटॉप से करना, जिससे आप अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर करके प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगी आपकी भी।
ओके मैम।
मैम ये इंपोर्ट हमें कहाँ से करना है? सो आई एम गोइंग ऑन फाइल्स एंड देन
मैम इंपोर्ट पे देखिए 2 फाइल्स भेजी, एक तो स्टेटा फाइल भेजी है कल आपको, एक एक्सेल फाइल भेजी है।
राइट, एग्जैक्टली।
अगर
हाँ
आपकी
जी
एक्सेल फाइल आएगी तो आपको इंपोर्ट फ्रॉम एक्सेल करना पड़ेगा।
मैम, उसमें एक्सेल स्प्रेडशीट एक्सेट्रा करके
हाँ
सारी
हाँ
ऑप्शंस,
हाँ
तो
हाँ,
उसी पे क्लिक
वहां
करके
पे
कर।
आप क्लिक करोगे, जैसे हम आर में करते हैं, पूरा
राइट राइट।
खुल जाता है, फिर हम ब्राउज करते हैं, फिर
हाँ
हम
जी,
उसको इंपोर्ट करते हैं सेम
बट
एक्सेल
वो
के लिए।
मेरे डाउनलोड्स में शो ही नहीं कर रही है वो एक्सेल शीट। आई हैव
तो
सेव्ड
हो
आल्सो।
सकता है मैम आपकी कहीं और सेव हो गई हो आपके सिस्टम पे ना। और जब भी कोशिश कीजिए मैम, आज बैठ के ना जितनी भी फाइल्स मैं आपको भेज रही हूँ आप डेस्कटॉप पे ही सेव कर ले, फोल्डर बना लिया करो, आप उसमें सेव करते रहा करो सारी फाइल्स, जिससे आप डेस्कटॉप से डायरेक्टली कर सको।
ओके
मैम ये DTA फाइल्स है ना?
हाँ, ये स्टेटा फाइल्स है ना, ये डायरेक्टली खुल जाती हैं।
ओके।
आई थिंक ब्राउज करते हुए जो निशा मैम को प्रॉब्लम आ रही है ना, तो वहाँ पे ऑल फाइल्स सेलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा, तो फिर जो एक्सेल फाइल्स
हाँ
है वो भी शो करने लगेंगी।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
वेरिएबल्स हमेशा वैसे ही सिलेक्ट करने होंगे राइट हैंड साइड पे जाके,
मैम
जैसे
वो
आपने
थोड़ा
बताया।
इजी हो जाता है, आप टाइपिंग में कोई गलती कर सकते हो, क्योंकि केस सेंसिटिव होता है स्टेटा और आर दोनों के दोनों। अगर आपका स्मॉल में है और मतलब वेरिएबल आपने पहले एक्सेल में स्मॉल में लिखा और आपने गलती से कैपिटल लेटर लिख दिया तो वो नहीं लेगा। तो बेटर है वहीं पे आप राइट हैंड साइड पे जाओ, वहाँ एरो होता है, डाउन एरो, तो आप वहां पे क्लिक करोगे तो जो भी वेरिएबल आपका है वो एज इट इज आ जाएगा। तो केस सेंसिटिव है तो स्टेटा उसको एज इट इज ले लेगा।
तो मैम बाकी की कमांड्स जो सर ने बताई अगर इस पे लगानी होगी तो फिर
वो
मुझे
मैम सब
वैसे।
कुछ आएगी, इसमें सब कुछ आएगा, जैसे आर में ड्रॉप डाउन में आ जाता है, इसमें भी सब कुछ आता है। और आप देखोगे सेम कमांड है, आप इसमें हिस्टोग्राम बनाओ, हिस्ट कमांड है HIST, और फिर वेरिएबल नेम लिखोगे तो सेम आपका हिस्टोग्राम बन जाएगा, जैसे आपने आर में करा था। अब जैसे समरी हमने आर में डिस्क्रिप्टिव समरी के लिए समरी और फिर ब्रैकेट में वेरिएबल लिखा था, यहाँ पे समरी सेम चीज है SUM में, तो वहां पर भी आप SUM लिखते हो तो वो नीचे ड्रॉप डाउन में समरी आ जाता है, सेम इसमें है मैम।
मैम डिस्क्राइब वो नहीं है क्या? डिस्क्रिप्टिव
डिस्क्राइब भी है मैम। एक चीज के बहुत सारे कमांड्स है, जैसे आर में मैंने अभी आपको सारे कमांड्स ही कराए, जैसे मैंने आपको डिस्क्रिप्टिव खाली एक से कराया है। अगर आपने सिर्फ समरी लिखी और वेरिएबल नेम लिख दिया सबका आ जाएगा, या समरी लिख के एक वेरिएबल को लिखोगे वो आएगा। अगर सपोज करो आपके 30 वेरिएबल्स हैं, आपको 10 वेरिएबल्स लेने हैं खाली, तो आप 10 वेरिएबल्स को सबको अलग अलग नहीं लिखोगे, अब तब हम कमांड यूज करते हैं डेटा डॉट फ्रेम।
मैडम शेयर करूं मैं अपना?
हाँ जी सर, हाँ जी
थैंक यू
सर।
मैम, थैंक यू।
ओके ओके।
हेलो
हाँ जी सर, शेयर कीजिए।
हेलो
हेलो, हाँ सर आ गई आपकी स्क्रीन।
मैडम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई वो सुषमा
हाँ
की?
हाँ 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 सर, कर दी।
हेलो
हेलो सर, कर दी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व।
यस सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
ठीक है।
Ma'am, is there a way we can use Tata? We can download it from somewhere.
सर ये ट्रायल वर्जन आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हो, लेकिन अदरवाइज यू हैव टू परचेज इट।
Let's see what next we are going to talk about. It says difficult problems in life always start off being simple. And that's what we are going to do with our panel data. So we have the basic panel data that says we have YIT and coefficients with IT, where I stands for the cross-sectional unit and T for the time unit, okay? I have a question for you in this regard. In this equation, can you imagine what is the challenge? How many parameters we have to estimate?
Okay.
BK sir, BK.
Hello? See here.
I times T.
I times T, okay. So if you have 100 cross-sectional unit, 10-year data, we have to estimate 1000 parameters. That doesn't make a sense. What should we do? In the panel data, truly speaking, we have to determine large number of parameters. And if you start determining large number of parameters, we lose degrees of freedom. And when you lose degrees of freedom, your quality of estimates fall drastically. What's the way out? What should we do? Can we do something so that my number of estimates gets reduced? Can we do something so that my estimates get, the number of estimates which we have to do gets reduced? Think.
So we keep the T constant.
What does it mean?
So we don't calculate the value for the different years.
But why do we do that? Neha, why do we do that? And how can you do that? For that, what you need assumptions. You have to make assumptions about the behavior of your data. And accordingly, you will decide how many parameters you have to estimate. Assumptions plays very, very important role in deciding what is to be done. So the solution is make necessary assumptions. And by making assumptions, Neha, what you said, time should be taken as
constant. Means
right.
We will not calculate the values for different years. We will calculate the overall value.
That means you're making an assumption that there is no change over time. Isn't it?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. जब तुम टाइम के लिए कैलकुलेट नहीं करोगे तो उसका क्या मतलब है कि टाइम कांस्टेंट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. It doesn't change. Nothing is changing over time. That's the assumption which you make. Let me make any other assumption.
cross section change नहीं हो रहा है time के साथ. Is it?
नहीं, cross section तो change होगा ना.
मतलब assumption.
It depends what you are assuming.
So we can make both. I think once we can do assuming that no variability over time, and once we can do assuming that no variability within cross sections.
Right. So if we do that, what does it mean? If we do that,
two type of modeling maybe.
उससे क्या होगा मॉडल में मेरे ये जो I और T है सारे खत्म हो जाएंगे. अब कितने पैरामीटर्स एस्टिमेट करने हैं आपने?
जितने इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स हैं.
K+1 एक इंटरसेप्ट भी होगा ना. और पहले हम एस्टिमेट कर रहे थे I into T. अब हम कर रहे हैं K+1. See the difference. And this is the whole game of assumptions which you are making. So assumption plays a very important role, but when you make an assumption, then you have to be careful about it, that it should not destroy the underlying reality. If you make an assumption that destroys your underlying reality, then the whole purpose gets defeated. So we have to make assumptions according to reality, which makes sense for our data. Okay, so assume that all parameters are constant, not changing with cross-sectional unit and not changing with the time period. So that's how we get. And in this model, all parameters are not allowed to change with cross-sectional units nor with the time. And then you can make use of OLS. Okay, so what actually I'm assuming, no difference across cross-sectional units, no difference across time units. So if you make such strong assumptions, you know what you are doing? We are pooling the data. And then the analysis which we do, that is called pool data analysis, where we are making assumption, no difference over time and no difference cross-sectional heterogeneity. Cross sections में कोई फर्क नहीं है, they are all alike. Time period, no difference, every year is same. Then why should we take differences, pull them together, do the analysis, pull the data and run OLS, get the result. But for that, we are making very strong assumptions that no difference across, no difference over time. Like the problem which we are discussing here, if we assume that all districts are alike, districts में कोई फर्क ही नहीं है, तो why this distinction? Forget about it. Every year is same. Then this goes out. So what we have, this data, and this data is called pool data. And once you have the pool data, then you can make use of simple regression, simple OLS. So here you can simply regress, right? Regress your death rate, birth rate, and number of workers as independent variable and get the result. So this model will be absolutely fine, provided we have a strong belief that districts, no difference, years, no difference. Then you can pool it, otherwise there is no need to pool it. Is that okay?
So how will we decide whether pool can be applicable or not?
वो तो नेहा तुम्हें खुद डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा.
So do we have any test?
तुम्हें लगता है कि टाइम में फर्क है? लगता है क्रॉस सेक्शन में फर्क है? है?
Means on the basis of literature review or our opinion we can decide.
Right, right. Suppose we have 100 companies data. One, two, three, 4, 500. And we have 5 years data. Time period is say from 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And suppose we have return on equity. Here, 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 here. Okay. Now suppose I make an assumption that cross-sectionals difference. But time period, no difference. तब क्या करना चाहिए? This is assumption. हर कंपनी की ROE over a period of time same रहेगी. तब हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
Just pull the time period.
Just that is one thing. You can also work with average. इन पांचों की एवरेज लेके क्रॉस सेक्शन आ जाएगा ना तुम्हारा. Then you do the analysis. That can also be done. But what you are making is strong assumption that there is no difference across the time. So ROA is same for all the years. So the best can be represented by the average figure. You take the average, it becomes cross-sectional, and do the analysis. So the whole thing is based on the, the kind of the assumptions which we are making. And according to the assumptions, you have to decide what is to be done, what is not to be done.
Sir, if we are taking it as cross-sectional after taking the average and assuming there is no difference in ROE, then we will not apply panel data analysis.
Data तो panel ही है ना?
नहीं सर, मैं समझ नहीं पाई सर जो अभी आपने बोला. Then apply cross-sectional या assumption cross-sectional.
Assumptions की क्यों जरूरत पड़ रही है, सुषमा?
Sir, actually I missed something. That's why I'm not getting what you are trying to say. After getting the average, this will become cross-sectional. Is that what you said, sir?
Yes. Because time तो खत्म ही हो गया ना. Average लिया तो एक ही figure आ गई तुम्हारे पास.
Yes, sir. Then what about the analysis part, sir?
तो simple OLS लगा दो, क्या दिक्कत है?
Okay.
पर सुषमा ये हम assumption क्यों कर रहे हैं?
सर क्योंकि यहाँ पर कोई difference नहीं है इस particular variable में.
To restrict the number of parameters.
Right.
Yes, to restrict it, right. Because initially we started with this problem of
huge data, huge parameters to be saved, to be estimated.
Yes, sir.
So that we cannot do. So we have to introduce assumptions. Now the question is what assumptions we have to introduce. So I'm building up different scenarios. If you do this assumption, this. If you do this assumption, this. If you do this assumption, this. For every different set of assumptions, you will have different analysis. Panel data analysis अपने आप में कुछ नहीं है. Panel data की analysis के लिए आपको different tools use करने हैं, different methods use करने हैं, और वो method based होता है आपकी assumptions को लेकर. तो सारा game assumptions का है.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
So if we pull the data and use the OLS, and that's the result which we get. But we are not happy with it because we believe the district may be farak hai. Right? Okay. Who are the person working on the metro's high value product consumption? Who was that?
Sir, I.
Yes,
sir.
Nisha.
हाँ जी sir.
तो कौन-कौन से metros लिए?
Sir, so I would be considering it in Delhi only, but abhi to begin with, I'm doing it pan India. Just I'm not taking it across states. I am doing it across time periods.
तो state एक ही है.
So my primary survey will be in Delhi, but abhi I'm doing it pan India across the major states based on the NSSO report.
दिशा प्राइमरी में पैनल नहीं लगता, ये
नहीं
मान
सर,
के चलो।
प्राइमरी में नहीं लगाना, that's exactly what I'm saying. So मुझे
हाँ,
सेकेंडरी में
तो
ही
किस
NSSO की रिपोर्ट के बेसिस पे
हाँ,
I am taking the high value crops which are 4 or 5. I am taking the time period which is from 2011 to 19 and
एक सेकंड, मुझे 2 क्रॉस सेक्शन के नाम बताओ जो लोग हैं। एक दिल्ली हो गया,
so I'm not taking cross section as on the basis of state. I'm taking cross section on the basis of the crops. So I will take dairy products as one cross section and I will take fruits and vegetables as one cross section.
okay. Do you think their behavior is same?
No sir.
Why?
So the consumption of both will differ depending on what is the requirement of the
But why it
consumer.
will differ?
Sir, because the quantity of fruits and vegetables cannot be consumed in a similar amount as to what the
Yeah,
dairy products
it's
would
not the
be.
quantity, something else.
Even the expenditure part, the prices will be different.
Huh?
So the prices will be different. The
Tell me
nutrition
something
value will
which you
be.
cannot observe. And
So
that
the
makes it different.
nutrition value, maybe the nutritional intake.
Yes. What else? Tastes,
Tastes, yes, sir.
culture,
Yeah, definitely culture is also one which
but
will.
they are not observable.
No, they are not observable.
How you will control them?
So maybe then I'll take only a specific culture. I will exclude the rest, or maybe I'll take, let's say, a specific age group and exclude the rest of the age groups if I take age to be a control variable here.
मैडम ये सब सोचना पड़ेगा तुम्हें।
Yes, sir.
ऐसे नहीं चलेगा काम।
Yes, sir.
So, okay. You know why I'm saying, because assumptions plays a very, very important role. So if I see the district-wise differences, see here, this is one district. We have another district. Then we have another district like this. So we observe district-wise differences are there. Time-wise differences are also there. You have some time differences here as well. So if you have time-wise differences, district-wise differences, then how should we take care of it? How should we take care of it? I mean, what's the way out for it?
So panel data.
अरे पैनल डेटा तो है ही नहीं है तुम्हारे पास। कम
We have to consider the variation. Means we can't apply the pooled.
पैनल डेटा तो है ही हमारे पास। पैनल डेटा में assumption है no difference across I, across T, then you do the pool. ठीक है? अगर assumption है I differ हो सकता है, but T is same. So one solution is you take average over time and convert into cross section. नया पैनल डेटा तो है ही मेरे पास, लेकिन उसकी एनालिसिस कैसे करनी है, that depends upon the assumptions which you are making.
Yes, sir. I was just trying to say pooled won't be applicable. because we are assuming that there is a variation, so pooled applicable नहीं होगा.
Right. ये भी applicable नहीं होगा because time में भी फर्क है. What's next? What next? That is something which we have to look at. Okay. What the way out? The way out is something which you have to think. What should be done in order to take care of the district effect and year effect? क्या करें कि district का भी effect हो और year का भी effect हो? Is there any efficient way to take care of this problem? Panel data में आपकी है, उसमें क्या क्या assumptions हैं, वो आपका issue है. But once you say that district wise there is a difference, cross sectional wise there is a difference, time wise there is a difference, then how to capture their effects, that's the issue. Okay. How do we do it? That we will discuss, friends, tomorrow when we talk about fixed effect and random effect. Both works under different set of assumptions. And that is something which you have to appreciate. Right? तो पैनल डेटा में क्या एनालिसिस करनी है आपको, वो सारा गेम आपकी assumption पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप क्या assume करके चल रहे हो. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's the thing we are going to discuss tomorrow under the heading of fixed effect and random effect. So today was this session aimed at providing you necessary backdrop, providing you the ideas of endogeneity and exogeneity that we are going to use throughout in our discussion for tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And we also build up the basic orientation of our mind towards panel data analysis. Okay, any question if you have? Any doubt, any clarity? No? So thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Ved.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, Vani.
Thank you, sir. I hope everyone has filled the feedback form.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I have again shared the feedback form.
Is it in chat box, ma'am?
Yeah, it's in chat box.
Okay.